I'm Tom Talbot, founder of the IAM. Ever since our founding 100 years ago, the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers has had tremendous political clout. Because we're a united group of individuals with a common goal, our support or lack of support can make a huge difference to any candidate's campaign. Our patriotism translates directly into votes and physical support for a candidate's bid for office. It's in our best interest, of course, to support a candidate who will represent our goals and dreams within the political process. During the early days, we didn't have television or radio, so our ability to communicate was limited to word of mouth and letter writing. Our support of candidates was limited to individuals recognizing the common interests of the candidate and our union. But all that changed when Adlai Stevenson came to our convention to speak to our members and ask for our support. All of a sudden, labor was recognized as a moving force in the political process, a force to be reckoned with. Here are a couple of excerpts from his memorable speech to our membership.
I've come here first out of a sincere and long-standing respect for the International Association of Machinists. You've made this association an acknowledged leader of progressive American unionism. Unionism that fights for the rights of its members, but that also has full regard for those with whom it deals, and respects its obligation to the public. As a member of that public, just as we all are, I salute you. I am honored to be here, and I am grateful indeed for the opportunity to come here to pay my respects to you today. The machinist's list of important issues shows an interest in our government, not by any means just as workers, but as fathers, as mothers, as taxpayers, as consumers, and as citizens. The list covers almost the whole range of American politics: taxes, Social Security, housing, highways, the farm problem, national defense, atomic energy, and so on. It is by examining the record of the parties, it seems to me, on specific issues like these, and not by listening to election year platitudes, that we truly learn which party has a vision for the future, which party has in it the strength, the determination, yes, the compassion to build a new America.
Another candidate to recognize the importance of the IAM was John F. Kennedy, who addressed our membership before being elected to the presidency in 1960.
Great honor to come to this convention to join my colleagues in the Congress, Congresswoman Sullivan, Congressman Frank Costin, Congressman Mel Price, and to say that it is an honor and a pleasure to be at this Machinist Union. I come here this morning not only to salute you in the work that you've done for the members of your union, but I also salute you for the work that you've done for labor as a whole and for the general public. This union has had a long and honorable history. Its leaders like Al Hayes and Elmer Walker and Roy C. Miller have served this country in important positions in war and peace during the World War II and in the Korean War. And therefore, as a member of the Labor Committee of the Congress for the past 14 years, I am honored to be here this morning. I don't run for the office of the presidency in these difficult times, saying that if I'm elected, life will be easy. I think for Americans, life will be more difficult and challenging in the 1960s than it's ever been in the past. But I do say that if we are successful. But I think it's possible for this country to regain its sense of national purpose. We are the great defenders of freedom, not only here in the United States, but all around the world. During the American Revolution, Thomas Paine said, "The cause of America is the cause of all mankind." I think today that the cause of all mankind is the cause of America.
Lyndon Johnson also addressed our convention before being elected to the presidency of the United States in 1964.
76 years ago, your union was formed. When your founders met then, they were forced to meet in secrecy and in fear. Labor had no rights and few rewards. The laboring man and his family sat at the second table in our society. That day is gone, gone forevermore. The America of 1964 is vastly different from the America of 1888. 60-hour weeks are gone. 20-cent an hour wages are gone. Child labor and sweatshops are gone. You meet as free men ought to meet, out in the open and unafraid. Your rights assured, your rewards increased, and your place secure at the first table of our nation's success. No problem at home, and there is no provocation in the world from which we need to turn away. With patience and with perseverance, with faith in our arms and strength in our hands and peace in our hearts, we can be the masters of our destiny and the captains of our fate.
A true friend and champion of labor and the IAM was the late Senator Hubert Humphrey from the state of Minnesota. In his last speech before his death, Senator Humphrey spoke to an AFL-CIO convention in Minneapolis.
The history of the labor movement needs to be taught in every school in this land. We need to know our roots. As they say, we learned about roots, didn't we, in 1976. We need to know who we are, what we are, where we come from, how we got here. You've heard me say this before. It is imperative. It is a part of American history. This great nation wasn't built just because somebody sat behind a table and finagled and even financed. Important as finance is, and it is important. Important as planning is, it is important. Important as design is, and it is important. Ultimately, it's the worker. It was the worker that built the railroads, that dug the tunnels, that dredged the rivers, that built the ports, that built the huge skyscrapers, put in the highways, and built the homes. America is a living testimonial to what free men and women organized in free democratic trade unions can do to make a better life. And we ought to be proud of it. Just remember that. But we judge a movement like this by its overall record. And we judge the labor movement on what it has done to lift the standard of living for millions and millions and millions of plain American citizens who today can have their own home, who today have decent working conditions, who today can send their children to a good school. It never could have happened without you. Be proud of it, dear friends. Be proud of it. And just remember this. Mom said, yeah, they'll take your picture if you wipe your eyes with the Kleenex. Well, that's all right. Take it. Fellow that doesn't have any tears doesn't have any heart. No nation ever went bankrupt building. You go bankrupt in wars. No nation ever lost its life trying to save life. You lose your life when you take life. And I ask the labor movement to really once again become the idealistic, conscience of American politics. Too many people in politics today are afraid. They're afraid. They say, oh, they won't go for this. Well, I knew they wouldn't go for civil rights in 1948. I knew they wouldn't go for Medicare in 1949. I knew that they wouldn't go for the Peace Corps in 1958. And I knew they wouldn't go, if you please, for the Arms Control and Disarmament Agency in 1959. But ultimately they did. If you're going to be a man in politics, you have to be like a soldier on the battlefield. You know there are risks. There's no guarantee of your life. But as somebody once said, I'd rather live 50 years like a tiger than 100 years like a chicken. Thank you very much.
Other famous Americans have also recognized the importance of the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers over the years. One of the most notable was Buzz Aldrin, an American astronaut who was the first member of the IAM to set foot on the moon. At a luncheon meeting, Buzz had these words to say to our membership.
On which his life relied, he had the thought, all this that I see upon which my life belongs has come from the lowest bidder. Now this is hardly a comforting thought at first, but this sort of thing does not disturb us. It's largely because he, as many of us have, toured all the manufacturing centers and industrial plants involved in the space program. On these tours, we've seen men and women of America's labor force at work in the vital components of machinery and vehicles that carried us into space. Men and women who have a tradition of quality work and who have never played false with that tradition for any consideration. The union label means reliability, responsibility. The assurance of high quality, and we know that. We want you to know how deeply grateful we are for all of your support, the support both of your labor and of your tax dollars that provided us with the complex machinery and equipment that assured the safety and successful completion of our mission. This mission was yours and mine, as well as Neil Armstrong's and Mike Collins. It was your mission and your triumph, and assuredly, you walked with us on the lunar surface. You left your footprints as we did on the desolate lunar surface, just as you have supplied us with the confidence in your transportation with its life support systems that carried us every mile of our journey to the moon and returned us safely back to Earth. As Neil and I stood on the moon, the Earth was very much with us. We were wrapped in and sustained by an artificial Earth environment, which we carried on our backs. We are still literally earthbound in these very early years of the space age. Earth remains both our source and our sustenance. We take it with us wherever we go. And with this new perspective, this deeper appreciation of Earth, we have opened up the future to a new promise of attainment. Viewed from space, we have seen the Earth in all its opalescent beauty, the crowning jewel of our solar system. We have seen our home as a storehouse, rich in as yet untapped treasures. We've gained more knowledge and a better understanding of our good Earth. 3 of us took a journey to the moon, but more than 20,000 contractors, well over 400,000 workers encompassing a wide range of skills, trades, and services took part in the effort to get us there. Thousands of these very important people are members of unions represented by you here today. These include my own union, the International Association of Machinists, the Aerospace Workers Union.
Another highly visible profession, the entertainment industry, recognizes the value of organized labor too. And we are extremely proud to recognize as good friends 3 extremely talented, highly visible actors. Academy Award winner Cliff Robertson, an avid supporter of labor, spoke to us at our 1984 convention.
I'm proud to be a member of the board. I'm also proud to be on the Council of the Writers Guild and a member of a number of other unions within this whole business. And I'm proud to say that our membership, like your membership, remains today unafraid. And as long as we remain unafraid, if we remain unafraid, we'll remain powerful in our own right. Our voice does mean something. I was sitting in the back room waiting to come on here a few minutes ago, and I looked up, and on the sign was I, period, A, period, M, period. And I just thought to myself, I am. And I thought, well, by gum, all you people out there can say to yourself, I am somebody. I am the worker. I am the machinist, worker, and my voice does mean something. I am somebody, and I congratulate all of you for being here today.
Another extremely talented actor, Emmy Award-winning Ed Asner, also spoke to us at our 1980 and 1984 conventions.
I too sing America. The poet Langston Hughes says, "Oh, let America be America again, the land that has never been yet, and yet must be, the land where every man is free, the land that's mine, the poor man's, Indians, Negroes, me, who made America, whose sweat and blood, whose faith and pain, whose hands at the foundry, whose plow in the plain, must bring back our mighty dream again. Oh yes, I say it plain. America never was America to me, and yet I swear this oath. America will be. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. The people united will never be defeated. Thank you.
And Pulitzer Prize winner Studs Terkel, noted author, radio personality, and actor, paid us a high honor by narrating our film for the 1988 convention.
We live in the age of the computer, we're told. We're told of the wonders of high technology and the miracles they perform. But what happens to the flesh and blood workman, the old-time craftsman whose skill, whose hands have kept those machines going, have made those machines, and have created all those necessary products out of machines? What happens to him, to her? What happens to this being whose work is what his life is all about? Work. We're told that we live by the sweat of our brows, man and woman. Work by the sweat of their brows. What happens to them? That's what it's all about, it seems to me. One of the big challenges of today. As automation tries to wipe out the names and faces of people and sometimes their feelings, one still has to work. Work is what it's all about. You know, testaments, scriptures tell us to earn one's daily bread by the sweat of one's brow is the lot of mankind. It was and still is. So what happens in this age of high technology, of the computer? What happens to the hands, the skilled hands, the nimble hands, and the wit and the brains of the old-time craftsman and craftswoman? This, to me, is the challenge of the day. Are these skilled people redundant? Are they to be put away, or are they still part of the American texture, of the American fabric, of the American society? I feel they are very much indeed, and this is one of the great challenges we face today. A writer once asked, who built the pyramids? Who built the 7 towers of Thebes? History books are filled with the names of kings. Was it kings who hauled those craggy blocks of stone? Who built America? Our history books are filled with the names of Rockefellers, Vanderbilts, and Fords. But who shaped the metal? Who built the cars and trains and planes? American workers did. There is a security because there was a union, and there is a union. We know, you and I, all of us know, that one person alone can't beat the big boys. As by being together, such as in the IAM, that this has happened. When we say union, we mean members from everywhere. It doesn't matter where they came from. It doesn't matter color of skin. It doesn't matter which god is worshipped. And when we say union, we mean more than brotherhood. That's there, of course. We mean sisterhood, too. It happens that the IAM lapped the field way back in 1911, admitted women to its membership. This predated women's lib. So when we say IAM, we mean sisterhood as well as brotherhood.
And another fine American who happens to think we have the greatest organization in the world shares some of his views about our role in world labor in our 1988 convention film. In this memorable excerpt from the film, he's being interviewed by Studs Terkel about the future of the Union and the future of workers around the world. That fine American, our leader, Bill Wimpy Wimpesinger.
Where do the tracks of the future lead? They lead to, among other things, stronger international relations for the IAM. And one of the union leaders, and I mean a scrappy one, right down the line from way back, has been Bill Wimpesinger, president of the IAM. And I was thinking, Wimpy, that challenge, international labor relations and trade relations, is a big one today, isn't it?
Yes, indeed it is. And it's for that reason, Studs, that we've maintained a fairly high visibility in the international union movement ever since the conclusion of World War II.
But what's been the big barrier? Today, what are the big barriers?
Well, obviously, corporations have set out in quest of the cheapest labor on the globe, and they can do as they please anytime they please, and there we are.
But how do you and your colleagues, other union leaders in other countries, meet this challenge? How do you battle it?
Well, first of all, you have to figure out ways to overcome all of the ethnic, cultural, transnational boundary barriers. And obviously, the problems of dealing with people are much more severe than dealing with capital.
Yeah, but how do you face up to multinational? What's their role, the multinational?
There's only one way to do it, and that is to be prepared to take them on any place on the face of the globe that they open up shop and try to exploit workers.
Well, have you met some of the union leaders in different parts of the world?
Indeed. And I'm happy to say that all of those in the so-called industrialized countries see the problem very much the way we do and are anxious to forge programs to deal with it.
But what do you do about third world countries where the multinationals are paying what? Semi-slave wages?
Pittance, rice and beans.
Oh, how do you meet that challenge?
And get people to come together on a common goal, and that's inordinately difficult when you deal with people.
Yeah. Are you meeting, I know you've traveled all over the world, are you meeting different trade union leaders?
Yes.
Men and women, I know.
And I'm happy to report that in all of the so-called developed countries, the industrialized countries, the concerns are the same. They have the same problems as do we, and there's, in the recent years, a new emphasis on tackling those with some kind of a common front.
See, I was thinking perhaps the key question. In developed countries, there's this understanding, and now we come to the multinationals, and
they are the
semi-slave labor they're getting in those third world countries.
They're the culprits. Corporations can continue the quest to make the lowest wage paid on the face of the earth the going wage in all of the countries that thus far have done better.
Wimpy, what do you see ahead? What's the future? What's the outlook?
I think inevitably it's more of the same. I think that we have to continue to build international relationships so that we can confront the multinational animal wherever and whenever they open shop. And even though we've come a long way, we've still got a long way down those tracks to go.
Of course, the list of Americans proud to support labor in the IAM is endless. But it's nice to know that we have such good friends as presidents of the United States, astronauts who land on the moon, and famous actors, willing to make a strong stand in support of our cause. Who will be next to champion the cause of labor? Only the future and the members of the IAM will know for sure. Many of the IAM struggles have been handed down from generation to generation in the form of song and verse. Here are some fine examples of union folk songs.
When the union's inspiration through the workers' blood shall run, there can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Yet what force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one? But the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. Now they have taken untold millions they never toiled to earn, but without our brain and muscle not a single wheel could turn. We can break their haughty power, gain our freedom when we learn that the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. And in our hands is placed the power greater than their hoarded gold, greater than the might of armies, magnified 1,000-fold. We can bring to birth a new world from the ashes of the old, for the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever.
things that my daddy did. Worked for a living and he raised us all, and he taught me to cherish old Union Hall. We'd go to the meetings in that smoky old place. You could see Union spirit in my daddy's face. Fiery speeches and pure honesty will burn forever in my memory. Down at the Union Hall, down at the Union Hall, calling all workers to come one and all, down to the Union Hall. Days are over, I'm old and gray. Let's not let solidarity slip away. It's not too late, there's still battles to win, and let's all get together and revive it again. Down at the Union Hall, down at the Union Hall, calling all workers to come one and all, down to the Union Hall, down to the Union Hall, down at the Union Hall, calling all workers to come one and all, down to the Union Hall.
Now you want higher wages, let me tell you what to do. You got to talk to the workers in the shop with you. You got to build you a union, got to make it strong, but if you all stick together, folks, won't be long. You get shorter hours, better working conditions, vacations with pay, take your kids to the seashore. Course it ain't quite that simple. I better explain just why you got to ride on the union train, 'cause if you wait for the boss to raise your pay, we'll all be waiting till Judgment Day, we'll all be buried, gone to heaven. St. Peter will be the straw boss then. Now you know you're underpaid, but the boss says you ain't. Speeds up the work till you're about to faint. You may be down and out, but you ain't beaten. Pass out a leaflet, call a meeting, talk it over. Speak your mind. Decide to do something about it. Course the boss may persuade some poor damn fool to go to your meeting and act like a stool. But you can always tell a stool, though that's a fact. He's got a coward streak running down his back. He doesn't have to stool, you know. He'll always make a good living on what he takes out of blind men's cups. Well, you got a union now. You're sitting pretty. Put some of the people on the steering committee. The boss won't listen if just one squawks, but he's got to listen if the union talks. He'd better. He'll be mighty lonely. Suppose he's working you so hard, it's just outrageous, paying you all starvation wages. You go to the boss would yell, "Before I raise your pay, I'd see you all in hell." Well, he's puffing a big cigar, feeling mighty slick, thinks he's got your union licked. He looks out the window, and what does he see but 1,000 pickets, and they all agree he's a bastard. Unfair. Slave driver, bet he beats his own wife. Well, folks, you come to the hardest time. The boss will try to bust your picket line. Call out the police, the National Guard, tell you it's a crime to have a union card. They'll raid your meeting, hit you on the head, call every one of you a doggone red, you unpatriotic. Moscow agents, bomb throwers, even the kids. Well, out in Detroit, here's what they found. Out in California, here's what they found. Down in Texas, here's what they found. Hey, in J.P. Stevens, here's what they found. That if you don't let red baiting break you up, if you don't let stool pigeons break you up, if you don't let vigilantes break you up, if you don't let race hatred break you up, you'll win. What I mean, take it easy, but take it.
There once was a union mate. She never was afraid of the goons and the ginks and the company finks and the deputy sheriffs that made the raid. She went to the union hall when a meeting it was called. And when the company boys came round, she always stood her ground. Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union till the day I die. This union maid was wise to the tricks of the company spies. She couldn't be fooled by the company's stools. Always organize the guy, always get her way. When she fought for higher pay, she'd show her card to the National Guard, and this is what she'd say. Hey, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. To the union, union, union. Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union till the day I die. We modern union men are also not afraid to walk the line, leave our jobs behind, and we're not just the ladies' aid. We fight for equal pay, and we will have our say. We're workers too, the same as you, and fight the union way. Hey, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. To the union. To the union, union, union. Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union till the day I die.
Well, I was thumbing through my wallet just the other day, and well, I came to a certain spot, and I could have swore I heard someone say, "Hey, I'm your union card. Now don't you forget about me." Now listen to this story, and just see if you don't agree. Hey, you may not know it, but I do a lot for you. I protect your benefits and all your wages too. I might even keep you from getting fired. Praise the Lord, I'm a union card. Praise the Lord, I'm a union card. Could have been a Visa, could have been a MasterCard. Don't worry about your money as long as I'm on guard. Just praise the Lord that I'm a union card. Could have been a joker, could have been Leo Maid. Could have been a rooker, could have been the ace of spades. Living in your wallet here, it sure is hard. But praise the Lord that I'm a union card. Praise the Lord that I'm a union card. Could have been a Visa, could have been a MasterCard. Don't worry about your money as long as I'm on guard. Just praise the Lord that I'm a union card. I'm a postal worker who delivers mail for you. I'm a textile worker and I work on airplanes too. I'm carried by millions over near and far. Just praise the Lord that I'm a union card. Praise the Lord that I'm a union card. Could have been a Visa, could have been a MasterCard. Don't worry about your money as long as I'm on guard. Just praise the Lord that I'm a union card. Praise the Lord that I'm a union card.
Us, we shall not be moved. The union is behind us, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water, we shall not be moved. We'll build a mighty union, we shall not be moved. We'll build a mighty union. We shall not be moved just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. We're fighting for a contract. We shall not be moved. I say we're fighting for a contract. We shall not be moved just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. And we're fighting for our children. We shall not be moved. We're fighting for our children. We shall not be moved just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. We shall not be. We shall not be moved. We shall not be. We shall not be moved just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. That's planted by the water. We shall not be moved.
Come all of you good workers, good news to you I'll tell of how the good old Union has come in here to dwell.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
My daddy was a miner and I'm a miner's son, and I'll stick with the Union till every battle's won.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
They say in Harlan County there are no neutrals there. You'll either be a Union man or a thug for J.H. Blair.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Oh, workers, can you stand it? Oh, tell me how you can. Will you be a lousy scab or will you be a man?
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Don't scab for the bosses, don't listen to their lies. Us poor folks haven't got a chance unless we organize.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
When I was a little girl, I wished I was a boy. Tagged along behind the gang and wore my corduroy. Everybody said I only did it to annoy, but I was gonna be an engineer. Mama said, but can't you be a lady? Your duty is to make me the mother of the pearl. Wait until you're older, dear, and maybe you'll be glad that you're a girl. When I went to to school, I learned to write and how to read, history, geography, and home economy. And typing is a skill that every girl is sure to need, to while away the extra time until the time to breed. And then I had the nerve to ask, what would I like to be? I said, I'm gonna be an engineer. Oh no, you only need to learn to be a lady. The duty isn't yours for to try to run the world. An engineer could never have the baby. Remember, dear, that you're a girl. Well, I started as a typist, but I studied on the sly, working out the day and night so I could qualify. Every time the boss come by, he pinched me on the thigh, said I never had an engineer. You owe it to the job to be a lady. The duty of the staff is to give the boss a whirl. The wages that you make are crummy, maybe, but it's all you get 'cause you're a girl. Well, then Jimmy come along and we set up a conjugation. We were busy every night with love and recreation. I spent my days at work so he could get an education, and now he's an engineer. He said, I know you'll always be a lady. The duty of my darling is to love me all her life. Could an engineer look after or obey me? Remember, dear, that you're my wife. Well, as soon as Jimmy got a job, I studied hard again. Then busy at my turret lathe a year or two of then. The morning that the twins were born, Jimmy says to them, kids, your mother was an engineer. You owe it to the kids to be a lady. Dainty as a dish rag, faithful as a child. Stay at home, you got to mind the baby. Remember, you're a mother now. Every time I turn around, there's something else to do. Cook a meal or mend a sock, or sweep a floor or two. Listening to Jimmy Young, it makes me want to spew. I was gonna be an engineer. I only wish that I could be a lady. I do the lovely things a lady's supposed to do. I wouldn't even mind if only they would pay me. Then I could be a person too. Well, then the times got harder and my Jimmy got the sack. I went down to Vickers, they were glad to have me back. I'm a third-class citizen, the wages tell me that, but I'm a first-class engineer. The bosses says I pay you as a lady. You only got the job 'cause I can't afford a man. With you I keep the profits high as maybe. You're just a cheaper pair of hands. Well, I listened to my mother and I joined a typing pool. I listened to my lover and I put him through his school. If I listen to the boss, I'm just a bloody fool and an underpaid engineer. I've been a sucker ever since I was a baby. As a daughter, as a mother, as a lover, as a dear. But I'll fight him as a woman, not a lady. I'll fight him as an engineer. Solidarity forever. I'll fight him as an engineer.
On the SP line to strikes and on a call. But Casey Jones, the engineer, he wouldn't strike at all. His boiler, it was leaking, and his driver's on the bum, and his engine and his bearings, they were all out of plumb. Casey Jones, he kept his junk pile running. Casey Jones was working double time. Casey Jones, he got a wooden medal for being good and faithful on the SP line. The worker said to Casey, won't you help us win the strike? But Casey said, let me alone, you'd better take a hike. Then Casey's wheezy engine ran right off the worn-out track, and Casey hit the river with an awful crack. Casey Jones, he hit the river bottom. Casey Jones, he broke his blooming spine. Casey Jones became an Angelino. He took a trip to heaven on the SP line. When Casey got to heaven to the pearly gate, he said, I'm Casey Jones, the guy that pulled the SP freight. You're just the man, said Peter, our musicians went on strike. You can get a job scabbing anytime you like. Casey Jones, he got a job in heaven. Casey Jones was doing mighty fine. Casey Jones went scabbing on the angels, just like he did the workers on the SP line. The angels got together, they said it wasn't fair for Casey Jones to go around the stabbing everywhere. The Angels Union number 23, they sure were there, and they promptly fired Casey down to golden sand. Casey Jones, he went to hell a-flying. Casey Jones, the devil said fine. Casey Jones, get busy shoveling sulfur, that's what you get for scabbing on the SP line. What you get for scabbing on the SP line.
It all started back in 1888 down in Atlanta, GA. 19 machinists, that's how it got started. Look at where we are today. Long live the IAM. Long live the IAM. Well, now let's all get together, sing this little hymn. Long live the IAM. But now there's even legend of the fighting machinists and how they worked to right the wrong. We picked up the battle, we're fighting machinists, and we're fighting as we sing this little song. Long live the IAM. Long live the IAM. Well, now let's all get together, sing this little hymn. Long live the IAM. And now we're sending a message to our brothers and sisters all across this great land. We picked up the battle and we shall overcome by fighting hand in hand. Long live the IAM. Long live the IAM. Well, now let's all get together, sing this little hymn. Long live the IAM.
They were working 15-hour days. The pay was low back then. Tom Talbot met in secret with 18 other men. Those 19 brave machinists, one early day in May, planned and formed our union that has lasted to this day. And the year was 1888, and Atlanta was the town. A roundhouse was their meeting place in a pit down in the ground. Their reputation grew and grew, soon the word was out. Had to pay top wages if you wanted them about. To run the lathe, to true the shaft, the mills to cut the gears. But when the day was over, they drank their share of beer. And the year was 1888, and Atlanta was the town. A roundhouse was the meeting place in a pit down in the ground. As years went by, they had their hours narrowed down to 10. Was a big improvement, but these were determined men. The biggest contribution they made along the way was a strike they led that won for all a short 9-hour day. And the year was 1888, and Atlanta was the town. A roundhouse was their meeting place in a pit down in the ground. The benefits enjoyed today by workers all around were caused by those machinists who said we'll shut her down. But now we're in the space age, who knows where lies our fate? But thanks to the union membership, we're only working 8. And the year was 1888, and Atlanta was the town. A roundhouse was their meeting place in a pit down in the ground.